St. James, or Epstein Island, is called. This is the infamous Jama Island called Little R. Almost everyone on this 72-acre island. Luxury was present, from the luxury resort here. From private dogs and libraries, cinema was everything. The world's big. The personality began to come and go on this island. He lived. But the truth is that there are parties and underage children under the guise of vacation. It was used appropriately. The reports are. That's some of the underground tunnels on this island. They were also made. It is said that these tunnels are here. It was created under a special purpose. So the island staff put them together so that he used to go to another place. They don't look up at the guests, or this is an escape route for elite guests only. It was. Those who had trouble with this base, she was a young girl and her parents. But as soon as you hear the name of these powerful people, I don't even have the courage to go against them. At least not for several years. But then in March 2005, the whole story. The curtain rose when a woman named Courtney Wild, the girl, showed bravery at the Palm Beach police station in Florida. First report filed against Jeffrey Epstein action. In this case, the police, the FBI, and others' evidence found by the investigating agencies, he gave everyone goosebumps. Evidence. The names of important personalities were included in them, inappropriate photos, and up to Epstein Island flight log to go. All this evidence produced in court, and the documents are called the Epstein Files is. But the question is, who was Jeffrey Epstein? Where did he get so much money from? And he makes connections with famous people. How did it succeed? On the secret island. What else does the FBI need besides secret tunnels? Got anything? And above all, so secured the night Jeffrey died in prison. Is there any malfunctioning of CCTV cameras? Was it a coincidence, or was there something behind it? It was a great power. I am once again flattered. The Nazarene minor maths teacher who watches became the richest person in the world. Gaia. Jeffrey Epstein in 1970. He started in school but is real. The destination was Wall Street. She, Victoria, like Leslie Waxner, the owner of Secret, won the trust of the Billiards and their money. He started managing millions of dollars in commissions and friendship with the elite class. Epstein from New York to Florida. He built an empire of bungalows, but this date secret, hidden behind the glittering world it was. Epstein on the push for his power and money, preying on innocent and underage girls. It was. This is the story of a man who lives in the world. There was a billionaire for it, but in reality, a horrible criminal. Manhattan's largest private castle of New Mexico, 75,000 acres, range of in luxury in Paris apartments, Aston's royal life. It was nothing short of a dream, but his real. The empire is indeed 72 acres in the Caribbean. It was Jazeera, Little St. James, to whom we also called Epstein Island. Get here, Epstein used his private jet for the media has called the Lolita Express named. But what happens on this island? Was it? Claims have been made that on this island the world's most famous people are guests. They used to make, and here are underage girls. It was targeted. Austin's world. Not just money, but the world's most powerful, fresh faces were also involved. Bill Clinton Epstein traveled 26 times on a private jet, which also included international tours. Donald Trump also killed Epstein in the 90s. There were neighbors and friends, but later there was enmity. Trump claimed that he always avoided going to Epstein's Island. It was denied. But the biggest blow the British royal family felt. Prince Andrew was accused of serving 17 years Virginia Jeffery at the behest of Epstein, but abused Prince of Virginia. That famous picture with Andrew. It also went viral throughout. This is what happened. That Prince Andrew owes his royal duties. I had to leave. Settling $1 million, and in October 2025, he was married to the prince. The lock was also taken away. From Bill Gates. Everyone from Hollywood stars to Epstein's. It was in social circles. Epstein's arrest to the FBI, lots of CDs and photos were found from the house. Terrible suspicion arose that he was going to kill these big people. He used to blackmail me. However, the law has not yet been no client list found. But this connection to Epstein is still known in the world today. It's a tangled puzzle. Epstein's the first split was in 2005, when Florida's Courtney Wild named girl. He showed courage and called the Palm Beach police. Statements against Epstein. Police investigation shook the world given. Turns out Epstein isn't a two. Instead, dozens of underage girls were victimized. I was doing. And that's where it starts. The world's largest judicial date, joke, in 2008, when Epstein was sentenced to life in a lifetime. A secret deal should have gone to jail then. Prepared. U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta and Epstein's expensive lawyers. Together, the victims were kept in the dark and entered into a compromise that saved Epstein. As a result, Epstein was sentenced to just 18 months in prison, and surprisingly, he was also in jail. Got VIP treatment. He was all day long. I work in the office and only sleep at night. He used to go to jail. After just 13 months, he became completely free. This deal is not only not to Epstein, but to his powerful comrades. Also saved whose names are still in the Epstein files, buried in. But here Epstein has made a mistake. His pride and confidence in himself. He took it and drowned it. To protect yourself, Epstein has described her relationship with powerful people. It was obvious, but this was the thing that the media did. The story of the Gripen deal all over the world leaked. He understood the power of money by the victims, that is, those girls. Lee. But that was his biggest misunderstanding. More after Courtney Wild takes the stand. A lot of the girls had the courage, and all of them took a stand against Epstein. He took the deal to court for 208, started to challenge. In July 2009, Virginia Jeffrey, one of Epstein's victims, civil lawsuit filed in which he said that Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell gave him forced to do wrong things to famous people done. Let me tell you here that Ghislaine Maxwell was Epstein's girlfriend who had a big role in this crime. Her work is to rate innocent underage girls. Had to. She is a girl outside of school. Hire on the pretext of a job by luring money. She used to do it. A little bit since 2010 reports began to emerge that Epstein how he bought a punishment for himself in Florida. In 2011, the Daily Mail interviewed Jeffrey, printed in which Prince Andrew was mentioned. This led to the princess's troubles. Then in 2015, it was also in the American media. Questions began to arise as to why Epstein was so much. Why was the concession given? Years of silence. Then in 2018, there was a big explosion. Journalist Jolly K. Brown reports, "How did you get into the avoidance of justice? The system had saved a criminal together. This report set the United States on fire. Due to this report on 6 July 2019, Jeffrey Epstein rearrested Gaia. This time, no secret deal worked. The court refused to grant him bail, and at this point, the powerful people of the world are afraid. Epstein was now naming everyone one by one, Will Sprout. But before the trial begins, the world-shaking news came. 10th. New York's hottest August 2019 morning, Epstein's body was found in Mahfouz prison, was found dead in a prison cell in New York on Saturday. The official report said that it is a suicide. But the reality was very strange. The prison cameras were out of order that night. Guards went and saw Epstein suddenly on suicide watch. Was removed from the list. Now the U.S. The same slogan echoed in the streets. Epstein did not commit suicide. It is believed that he was silent so that secrets of the world's biggest names forever be buried. However, the law has made it a suicide. But even today, it is the world's largest. It's a puzzle. Eyes on Epstein's death. On his closest partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, ticked. Maxwell, who is a famous British media tycoon, is Robert Maxwell's daughter. She was called Epstein's Madame, the same Epstein for young girls to find, trap, and help them train. Despite Epstein's passing, the FBI continued his investigation, and 2nd July 2020, the day Ghislaine Maxwell was hired in New Hampshire, arrested from a remote farmhouse taken, Jeffrey Epstein in the form of death escaped punishment, but his biggest fellow Ghislaine Maxwell from the clutches of the law, you can't escape. New York in November 2022, heartbreaking for victims in court. The statement made the world cry. Audrey, it turned out that Maxwell wasn't just a partner, the entire traffic network. She was the mastermind. Innocent children, Epstein was looking for it. June 2022. The court sentenced Maxwell to 20 years in prison sentencing. The judge said bluntly, "These children, but it is a punishment for oppression." Maxwell today, Florida. She is serving her sentence in a jail after Epstein's death from his wealth. A fund for victims was created from which, so far, more than 150 survivors have received 121 millions have been divided. Epstein died, but his files in 2025, it set fire to the politics of the world. January, the Epstein files to be made public in 2024, continued by Donald Trump in January 2025. A new twist as soon as it becomes the head of the party again. ICTR was done. Trump campaigned. He promised to release Epstein's files, will release. The result was that February Attorney General Pam Bondi claims in 2025 he kept the client list on his desk. But when the first phase was released, the people he called it a joke because there was something in it. It wasn't new. But the real bang is November 2025. It happened in both major political parties in the United States, the parties together in the Epstein files. The Transparency Act was passed, who government to be extended to. December 19, 2025. Deadline given that now before this deadline files have to be released. In December 2025, some of Ghislaine Maxwell's emails made public in which she was using the code name. That code name was the Invisible Man. The investigation proved that it was someone else. No, it was Prince Andrew who was code-named. They were hiding behind and looking for girls. One of Epstein's in a 20,000-page email. The old claim surfaced that Trump girls I knew about it before. White House called it Epstein's lie, but the new one. Records prove that Trump first, more often than not on Epstein's jet. I had traveled. Deadline of December 19, 2025. If it passes, new data of 30 pages will be released. Gaia, but still more than 1 million. The pages remain, the court and the government. In the meantime, a war has raged. Some people are true, want to bring it to the fore, and some still. Hiding behind victim privacy, saving names. Jeffrey Epstein is today, not in the world, but in his sins. The shadow is now over the world's most powerful people. It is also Mandela. Prince Andrew. They have lost their respect and status. Ghislaine Maxwell is behind bars, and billionaires around the world still follow Epstein today. Together, they are giving explanations of their friendship. Beginning with the silent voice of a baby girl in 2005. This is the world's largest journey today. Corruption has become a scandal. Epstein. The most famous on the island and the controversial structure I found was one blue and white color temples. This temple, no illegal thing was found from inside, but on such an island there is a temple-like structure. The existence of this raises a lot of questions. When the FBI raided the island in 2019, so the most asked question was that do secret tunnels exist under the island? Some of their underground utilities and tunnels were found, but their purpose was not to be seen. It didn't happen. But it is confirmed that underground structures on the island as well were present. Also on the island, unique statues were also found, and on every nook and cranny, CCTV cameras were found installed. It were the cameras for security or for blackmailing. This question is alive to this day. Is a helipad on which a strange face remains, seen in satellite image. So here is a resort surrounded by palm trees. There is also a helipad and a private dog connected with. Something non-negotiable during the raid. Minor medicines were also found. Among hormonal medicine asked the most questions, picked up. It is not confirmed that their motive. What was it but a normal private? Hormonal medicine on the island is enough. It raises questions. Epstein if alive. If it were, all these secrets would have been unveiled. It would have been a mistake. That's probably why he committed suicide, and maybe that's why I was forced to do it. All eyes were fixed on the Epstein files. The Epstein files will be opened soon. New names will be exposed, and maybe some new faces we will wait for jail. By Jeffrey Epstein. The story tells us that money and power. The crime can be hidden but not erased. Can. Nature's stick is definitely unbeatable, but when it falls, there are towers of big towers. They get into the soil, hopefully in Z. You guys also like this video of TV a lot, and will share. Filled with love of you guys, thank you so much for the comments. See you next in a brilliant video.